pulled out a magic trick from underneath the sleeve and took it and made Bugha disappear. God, he even breathed yet. He just got like 2 more. Day and Austin are
more tag.
They're ready to fight back at a moment's notice. Bugha and Threats, they saw this. They got the information. They know how many teams are here. They know exactly where they're at for now, and they know how to not overstep their boundaries. See Bugha trying to disengage. Now they're just trying to get on out of there.
Just look at the movement, the ramps. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's got to a more comfortable position here. And he will still continue to hound back. What an excellent play there. Slides in, gets themselves those points. And not only that, the tags, of course, it's the most important thing to start farming this early. Acorn and Cole, of course, working on their metal here. This is the standard strategy at this point. Get it all while you can, nice and early. There's a team looking on in, though. They're not completely safe just yet, but all in all, decent performance outside of losing Cold a bit early, so Acorn's going to have to see they can make some adjustments.
Yeah, and if you remember that frenzy field, how that third party was shooting shots in, well, now you know exactly who it was and how Cold and Acorn trying to get the early game surge. Just like everybody else, you see, stacked on top, D-Roller and Noxie. So a little bit of a sky base in the sky above Chris and Mud Hut Boy. They're just trying to get as much surge as they can without forcing too much of an altercation against anybody else. The fighting this early is very, very detrimental to some.
And Pams do so. We'll keep an eye on what happens there, but something in the environment, man.
compared to the that launch pad right, they count their blessings. They could find themselves on the north side, where virtually nobody is currently positioned except for maybe one or two players that are split up from each other.
Big game touch base here with Clix and Epic Whale. We're just making the rounds at this point. Lovely that this team is, of course, just a couple rooms apart from one another. Very much in sync this entire season as they've grown to continue to become better and better players. But Peterbot and Larson get gifted with the Rift Island right above. And teams are already starting to flock towards it, coming in by the dozen, it seems. Everyone in the vicinity flocking to the island here.
Yeah, a lot of people have made this part of their plan because of those rifts that are spread all around the jungle. They activate them around, I think, 40 seconds, a couple seconds into that third zone, and they get themselves in the hive before the rift even appears typically, and that allows them to kind of drop on top. But back-to-back games, not too many teams wanted to contest it right out of the gate. As soon as Peterbot and Larson kind of think about it as an idea, They get beat to the punch by Reet and Ritual, and the interesting thing about Reet and Ritual is they're one of the most aggressive teams. They know how to fight, and as soon as one gets there, you got Acorn and Cold, you got Poyo and Sphinx. So even though they might not necessarily be going for the capture point, this elevation here on Rift Island is going to allow them to kind of look around the map and get the surge they need.
But if you are here, you of course want to entertain the idea. Can we get this capture point and earn these additional points, of course? Ritual and Reed are here. They're here to fight. Luckily for them, they do get the Brick Reservoirs, one of the better sides to claim. No one wants to peek high ground, though. You see that, right?
No, I wouldn't either. If you didn't already learn throughout the weeks, through the cash cups, through just playing the game, you don't want to have to learn that lesson here in the finals. It's just very, very devastating. Then you got to worry about your mental game, trying to pick yourself back up, especially knowing you shouldn't peek around the lobby just like this. It's Acorn and Cold. They're just kind of scavenging whatever's left. They don't want to make any daring plays just yet. And that's the thing. They're 670 up. They realistically do not have to peek. They just simply have to get from one place to the next.
Ritual and Reed have decided to risk it all. Let's jump in with Rise, though. No Ianzo in sight. Where's his teammate? Oh, off to the east there. So playing a bit of a split spread right now. They do have to make their way into New Zone. But there's so many players inside the Storm here. You have to wonder if they're looking to take a fight. Something's telling them it's better to take this battle than to get to New Zone, but maybe they change their mind now as Rise gets tagged.
Interesting, everybody's kind of like planning to not really move too far. You got that one team trying to gatekeep everybody else out as Rise Yamzo. Just kind of farming up, you know, a rotation is going to be imminent right around the corner. spot. Going against Acorn and Cold, who caught fire at the perfect moment. They got first place in the Cash Cup. They're just dominating with 3 wins there. They're just trying to channel that same confidence and momentum into today.
Yamso's still rolling here, looking for any next player he can open up on. Almost dropped the ball, though. Had an open wall out to the side there as he's trying to skimp out on the builds. Got to be careful. Does it again there. It's these little plays that if someone catches you, does tend to backfire. Knifer is also by himself. He's just off to the edge there, too, front side of zone. Pump another solo. Lots of solos in this game, teams that we care about. This is the top 10 we're focusing and honing in on here. Cold is going to get taken out again, this time to the hands of Vodka. Just hasn't caught a break quite yet in the last 2 rounds. It's fallen a bit early.
Org mates now turned enemies.
By the way.
This is big. This is a big opportunity. Bugha's even lighting up the scoreboard as well, picking up more points. But Acorn and Cold both go down. And Epic Well as a solo, that is his 2nd elimination I've seen him pick up into this point. As Pump's just trying to outlast everybody else, looking down low. He spots towards the top. That's Reet and Ritual. Reet gets chopped down, though, trying to connect. They're separated for a few seconds. This would be the time for anybody to try to contest that height. But they waste too long. Go ahead and make that a possibility. So Reet and Ritual will hold on to that high ground.
I'm curious how many builds they got. That got broken down and then reconnected, and Reet had to use a lot of mats there, but it's Pump who's making all the chaos here. He gets Blake as well. This man doesn't stop here, and he wants to make sure he gets the full finish before, of course, this game concludes now. We're getting close to the top 15, and he is fighting for it. Another knock there happens. Here comes the big heals, gonna give him a lot of time to go and get to the next zone. There it is. He's in the front side. It's still moving, though. It's got a long way to go as it starts bouncing to the west here.
No mats, though, so he's going to have to look for another one of those cheeky refreshes that he just once had. Yamso, Epic Well, so many solos now going down. A missed shot by Pump, and that missed shot might cost him everything as he goes down to the zone. Top 10 teams, Kanata and Agers, are once again having a consistent game, but he's feeling the pressure. Shots coming in from all directions. He gets dropped by Ritual, but it's a trade, 1 for 1. Agers fighting back, and this is a big moment for Agers to pick up some points here as a solo.
Now, he hasn't quite gotten the finish, though, so he does have to take his time here, stay alive a little longer. He has the map to do so. Looks up to high ground. No one's up there. It's his now. Agers all of a sudden bites off Trout.
out Bugha play such an incredible defensive play there. But obviously, we got to start from right off the bat, had such a good control of that low ground, mid ground as well.
Yeah, and honestly, it all comes down to this 2v2 that we kind of saw go happen on the second high action. For them, it was Kanata and Agers they were making a play on. Agers comes out on top of that and somehow just finds himself up on the high ground as well. So great awareness out of him. And listen, I've talked about it several times, by the way, how good Mythic Flapjack is at applying pressure. And Agers just pretty much put that on full blast right there in this endgame, because that's pretty much where he got a majority of those eliminations from. And by the way,
Ager can be intense, right? Especially when you have something like that, Mythic Flapjack. It just feels like, what do I do? Where do I go? I can't even build because there is a But again, Agers and Globals, they want to hold it high.
Let's take a look at our standings, though. I want to see how things are going in 2 games.
I mean, with 13 eliminations and grabbing that first place spot, of course, they're going to be in first place.
Kelly
but Bryson Chubbs actually did a pretty good job as well, and I love to see it. Ritual and Ree in third place. And I actually was correct. Look at Queasy's socials. He is, in fact, coaching Ritual and Ree.
wow, interesting stuff, because I've seen Ritual and Ree go for the Rift Island during week number 3, which is actually why I went ahead and put them in that top 10 to qualify for Globals, because I like the way that they were playing. And that game right there, we saw them go for it, so I like that out of them.
Yeah, and Agers and Kanata, obviously, we saw them grab the objective for game number 1. But we have to talk about the king of Fortnite himself, Bugha, having an incredible run there in the solo, holding it down, making it to second place. And unfortunately, when you get to the end game and there's a giant wall in your face, there's not much you can do.
I like the fact that you mentioned that he went on a great run this game, because, yeah, he lands all the way at the bottom of the map, and we're all the way up at the Citadel. So a run is definitely what they had to do this game. But I talked about it. The experience is there. He knows how to make these type of rotations. And by the way, if you forgot, because he is so smart and good at the game, he also has the mechanics to back it up, which is why we saw him actually clutch out that second place.
Yeah, lots of solo clutches again in this game. We also saw Epic Whale, who was a solo for quite a while, which is kind of funny because Clix was the one that was constantly a solo throughout the weeks. Epic Whale this time grabbing a few eliminations himself, although we don't yet see them in our top 10 leaderboard.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Before we take a look at our top 20, there's 2 things I want to point out here on the list. We'll come back to it. Just kidding. Bugha and Threats, 13th place, up 37 places. This is why you will hear me talk about this anytime we're talking about Fortnite. You don't know how it's going to end until that last game. One game moved them up 37 places. Imagine if they kept this consistency going and going.
I mean, they just might. It's Bugha and Threats. They got 5th place last major. A lot of people, for whatever reason, I don't know, people like to say that Bugha's washed, even though he has the best performance in the last 3 years together. And then once again, they proved it last major by getting 5th place. So he's just showing that he's still the king.
Let me just mention real quick, this 11th through 20th is actually crazy, because everybody has the prediction list, and the names that are here right now, everybody